It is 33 days till the man bends, and today we're talking about rangers and what rangers do. There seems to be a common misconception that rangers are some kind of law enforcement or some kind of authority at Burning Man. And I know a lot of people are not exactly great with authority. It's seen as something a bit fearful and that, they're just there to try and ruin your fun. But rangers are not any kind of law enforcement. They're just trying to make sure that everyone stays safe and that situations just don't get out of hand. They just don't escalate into complete nightmares that would need law enforcement to get involved with them. Rangers are more like a layer between the community and the agencies like law enforcement or fire or medical or whatever other agencies there are. I like to think of rangers as kind of like guides. Like, if you climbed a mountain and you'd never climbed a mountain before, you'd probably take along a guide with you, someone that is experienced, that can, give you all that important information that you need to know, that can help kind of steer you in the right direction if you're doing something potentially dangerous, that has knowledge about, how to deal with various things. And it's really similar to what rangers do at Burning Man. To be a ranger, you can't be a first timer. You need to have gone to Burning Man at least twice. So they are participants. They have attended Burning Man however many times. And now they're just, full of all this knowledge about, how to survive. And that doesn't mean that they think that they know how to do everything or that they're going to be stepping in and telling you how to do things the right way all the time. But it does mean that they have a lot of knowledge and they are trained to deal with many situations that, regular burners that aren't rangers are not trained to deal with. On top of that, any rangers you see, they are participants at the Burning Man you see them at. They are dedicating a percentage of their time while they're there to being rangers. That is like their gift to the community. They're saying, I have some knowledge about Burning Man. I am able to help people, and that's the gift I'm going to give. I'm going to dedicate some of my time at Burning Man to doing that. And they don't get free tickets. They've paid for their tickets. There's no real special perks to being a ranger. Except the cool outfit, they get the cool outfit, but that's about it. So rangers are not there to tell you what you can and can't do. They're not going to stop you from doing the things that you want to do unless those things are particularly dangerous or life-threatening or could potentially cause harm to someone else. If you are doing something dangerous and a ranger is around, they might try and warn you and be like, hey, I don't think you should be doing that thing. That looks very dangerous. But it's very much in the same way that anyone else in the community might do that. Anyone might give you that warning if they see you doing something particularly dangerous. They might be like, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. And then, it's really down to you whether or not you want to proceed with doing that thing. And like I say, there are exceptions to that. If the thing that you are doing has gone past dangerous and it's into life-threatening, if you are behaving violently, if there's a potential that you are going to cause harm to other people, then the rangers might try and stop you from doing that thing, or they might escalate it. They might be like, this is not a situation a ranger can handle, and it's time to get law enforcement involved. They very much have to make judgment calls based on the situation in front of them. There's really no rule book that is going to cover every potential situation that could occur at Burning Man. And so, sometimes they're just having to work with their experience and knowledge and just make a judgment call on what is the best course of action. Whether that's leaving you to do what you want to do, whether that's getting some kind of authority involved, whether that's maybe trying to, take you somewhere else where you've got some time to maybe sober up if you're drunk, or some time just to calm yourself. A huge part of rangers' jobs is conflict resolution. At Burning Man, it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of radical self-expression going on, and not everyone is going to get along like a house on fire. Someone might be radically expressing themselves in a way that you really, really do not like. Or someone may be doing something that you just think is very wrong. And then it can turn into a conflict. And part of rangers' jobs is to try and mediate those conflicts. And not in a way where they're telling you what to do or they're resolving that conflict or that problem for you. In a way where they're just kind of mediating it. They're trying to ensure that it gets resolved, that it doesn't escalate, and whoever is involved in the conflict can, go on their way and enjoy their day with that conflict feeling very much closed. They're also a great source of information and guidance. If you're a first timer, there might be things that you feel confused about. You're not quite sure what to do or where certain things are, and rangers can help you with that. They can be like your mountain guide for 5 minutes. You can go up to them and be like, hey, I'm really confused. I don't understand this thing. Could you help me? and they're probably going to be able to give you the information that you're looking for. Likewise, they're on hand to help out people that are struggling. Maybe you have drunk way too much, you have lost all of your friends, you're just kind of roaming around in a very confused state. The rangers are going to give you a hand. They're not just going to leave you passed out on the floor on the open player. They're going to try and get you back either to your friends, to your camp, or somewhere safe. If you find that you are feeling very overwhelmed, then you can talk to a ranger and they're going to try and help you. They're going to try and help you get back to your camp or take you to a place where you're able to just sit and, recover from that feeling. Or even if they don't take you anywhere, they may just stay with you and talk to you until you are feeling better. If there is some kind of emergency, then rangers are able to deal with that probably much better than the rest of us. They're going to be able to get any resources that are needed to whatever the emergency is. If it's a medical emergency, they're going to be able to get the appropriate people there much quicker. Or they're going to be able to make sure that the person that needs help gets wherever they need to be to get that help. And in some of these cases, if you are particularly inebriated, you may not want to approach law enforcement officers for help. If your friend is having a medical emergency and you think maybe they've taken drugs, you might not want to approach a law enforcement officer for help because you're worried about what the consequences could be. But with rangers, you don't need to worry about those things. They are not the authorities. They are not looking for a reason to fine you. They're not even able to fine you. They're not looking to get you into any trouble. They are trying to just look after people, make sure that everyone is okay, make sure that everyone is safe and happy as much as they can be. So never be afraid to approach a ranger and ask for some help or some information or, whatever it is you need. Then you can get help from a ranger. So even though the rangers aren't the authorities, if a ranger does ask you to do something, you should probably do it. There's probably a really good reason for them asking you to do it, even if you can't see what that reason is. If you're fire spinning or something and a ranger asks you to stop, it's probably a reason they're asking you to stop. There's maybe a danger that you don't see, that you are not aware of. Maybe you are too close to the city, you are too close to all those fabric tents that are gonna just go up in flames any minute. Maybe you're in an area where you are not supposed to be doing that. Maybe you are ridiculously drunk and the ranger is just looking at you thinking any second now that person is gonna go up in flames. And if a ranger does ask you to do something and you're not really sure why and you're happy doing the thing you're doing, you don't want to stop doing that, or you don't want to do whatever it is they're asking you to do, ask them why. There's probably a very logical reason for why they are asking you to do something. So remember, rangers are people, they are burners too, and this is their gift to the community. And they deserve to be treated with some respect. They're not trying to ruin people's fun. And there may be times when you need a ranger, you have a situation, you don't know what to do, you don't know whether to get law enforcement involved or medical involved. You need a ranger to come and help you, make that decision. So remember, they are there to help to make the community more enjoyable, more safe, and to make sure that, no one passes out in the middle of the player just drunken in a pool of their own vomit. They do a great service and they deserve a bit of love out there. So even if you don't end up needing help for a ranger or interacting with them in any kind of way, the chances are they will have impacted your burn in some way. And usually it's going to be for the better. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts about rangers, and if anyone has any, stories about interactions with rangers and stuff, let us know in the comments below. And if you see me at Burning Man this year, feel free to come and say hi to me. Bye, guys.